Well, good afternoon, I believe.
Jonah, you're one of 3 new starters added in the last week. What are you getting the impression of in terms of the urgency that the Bears had to stabilize that front?
Yeah, we're building this team from the front, and that's really what it all comes down to. All the guys, the receivers, the quarterbacks, the running backs, they get all the stats, they look pretty, and it's all them. But the O-line and the D-line is really the motor to this car, and I'm excited. I got a big-time player in Joe Tooney, Drew Dalman, Darnell, and Braxton, and I'm excited to be a part of this group.
You watched the Lions go from the bottom and climb. What did you take from that experience of the ways that it happened to get them going in the right direction?
Yeah, just trust and belief in what you're doing. Staying the course, head down, going to work, taking it one day at a time. You can't look ahead and start thinking, oh, they're playing this team, they got this guy. Take on whoever's there, and win the game. Get wins. That's all it really comes down to.
How would you describe Ben's role in all that?
I mean, you've seen the offenses he has, and like I said earlier, the 40-plus point capabilities it brings to the table, and he's a winner. That's what he wants to do.
Did you see head coach traits back then when he was calling?
Definitely. I mean, he commanded the offense. It was his offense, and I think he'll be a great head coach here.
I know you focused on being here and moving forward, but sometimes it can just help to look back and see what went wrong. What specifically do you think went wrong out in LA, and how do you look to avoid that here in Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are out of my control. Positional change. I had an injury that you can't even predict. It happens in car accidents, and it happened just like a freak accident. But it comes with the game. This game is all about trials and tribulations, how you handle it. And, with a group like this and the mindset I have, I feel like we'll be able to be just fine as the days coming.
You know how complex.
With regard to that, was there anything about what happened, what you went through last year, you feel like helped you? Or is that just a year you just want to forget and never, it never happened?
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't forget things like that. It makes you into the person you are. And, I was able to just hone in on my craft, sharpen my toolbox, and, work. I was able to work both sides of the ball, so I feel comfortable and I feel like a dynamic player. And my body was able to heal up. I feel great. I'm ready to roll.
Jonah, what does Ben Johnson ask for from his offensive linemen, especially in this run game? Because it just seems like it's a really complex, a lot of schemes. Like, what do you have to do to be successful in that? What is he asking for?
Protect the quarterback and block for the running back. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It'd be a deep dive, but you have to see come Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays.
Are you prepared to throw a pass?
Somebody asked me. I said, "I'll say that. Keep that for Panay, man. Just block. I don't want to do that. I see how these guys are hitting those big guys, taking the knees out. I'm good."
How do you feel like your experience playing center helped you become a better guard? Even?
I played my first ever start outside of high school was center. So I feel like I can still play to this day. It just didn't pan out the way we wanted to in Los Angeles, but in Detroit, or wherever, it's not always just like your only guard, just in case things happen. There's only 8 guys dressed. You got to be ready to play wherever on the offensive line. So the position versatility is definitely big.
Did they let you know that Tooney was coming too, or were you caught off guard like, whoa?
No, I was in the middle of a workout, and one of my buddies, he actually plays for Detroit. He was like, Tooney too, and I was like, oh shit, this is legit. And that's a decorated veteran, and a guy that makes it look pretty every week, so I'm excited to be a teammate with him.
Did you volunteer like, hey, I'd love to play right guard, or that they put you on that?
No, I didn't volunteer, but I said wherever you need me to play, I'll play. It's not quarterback.
Jonah, how did the injury happen? The freak injury?
It was just in a third down draw. My arm got caught up a little bit, and it just happened.
How much did that bother you? Maybe limit you throughout the entirety of last season? When did you feel like yourself again?
Once the bone healed, I got to practice. I felt like myself again. Granted, I didn't play the position I usually played, but things happen. I'm fortunate enough those things happen because I couldn't ask for a better situation to be here with guys who trust and believe in me, and a place I'm familiar with. I feel like my best ball is played in the cold in the Midwest, so glad to be back.
Sean McVay talked specifically about like how you handled the situation after coming back and then not like losing your starting spot. How, after playing so many games at left guard throughout your career before you get to LA, what did you learn from that? Was that a humbling experience that you feel like maybe going through some adversity you can apply to your time here?
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, these things happen, and I couldn't be more grateful for those guys. They made that process seamless. Granted, some people think it is a little, hard on you to take in being a day one starter, never not starting whenever you're dressed. But they made it easy for me, and hats off to those guys for trusting in me still, and it is what it is.
Those first years in Detroit, where you guys were on the come up there, what allowed that team to have success and to take off the way it did, and how can you apply that here? What experiences?
Definitely the investment in the trenches. You've seen the offensive line, the defensive line, and like I said, just putting your head down, going to work, trusting the process, trusting what Coach Campbell and Hank Fraley and Ben Johnson had in store for us, and one day things will turn out good, and that's what happened.
How is Ben Johnson?
Couple more, please.
How is Ben Johnson the same as Dan Campbell, and how is he different?
I don't think they're really the same. I mean, maybe they have like some similar offensive scheme understands, but that's across the NFL. But I mean, Ben's one of a kind. I said this about a former quarterback, but he's like a wizard. He knows you can't time up his play call, and you don't know what he's going to call next. It could be 3rd and 10, and we're running down the A gap and going for a tug. So he's a special person.
When it came to the trade itself, did you have a short list of teams that you wanted to?
I honestly didn't have any idea. They said the Bears. I said, okay, cool. That's the perfect situation.
Jonah, what if anything do you know about Darnell Wright? How do you think you guys can complement each other on the right side?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some crossover tape through the years, and he's a big boy. I've seen him in there. Athletic. He has a lot of similarities to the other guy I played with in Detroit, Panay. Just special, pure, raw power. And I'm excited to get to work with him, help him get better, let him help me get better, and, it's going to be fun.
Awesome.